Pharmacist Ben.
Hey, yo. What be up,
How
AJ?
how are you? The gang's all here.
Yeah,
Me,
you did a
you,
great
and the
job.
talent.
You did an amazing job last night. I got to tell you. Got
You
to
thought it
tell
was
you.
pretty good?
I thought it was really good. I talked to
Really?
Becca. Yeah, I talked to Becca. We mentioned in passing yesterday the secret weapon. Becca
Mm-hmm.
mentioned the secret weapon, and I really want to reinforce that. Because when you told your story, it reminded me of that, and we don't talk about that enough. And that's the idea that most people are so nutritionally deficient. Most people, we're used to dealing with people who have a certain degree of health understanding. People in our school, distributors, people who are participating in longevity, but the vast majority of Americans still have such a scant understanding, such a reduced understanding of what nutritional supplementation can do, that they're not really leveraging it, but they hear about it because it's in the news and it's kind of out there in the zeitgeist and the environment and the culture. So there's a lot of people who just don't know how to supplement, and that's who longevity is perfect for. The people who want to supplement, who want to take advantage, they've heard about the power of nutritional supplementation. They're tired of their drugs, they're tired of the medical model. They don't know what to do. That's what we're about. And those are the people that we want to talk to. And the secret weapon is the fact that when you're nutritionally deficient, as most people are, present company excluded, once you put nutrition into your body, it's life changing. And your story is a classic example of that. To the uninitiated, they may hear AJ's story and they may be like, blah, yeah, blah, 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 blah. No, it's real. It's true. It doesn't take that long. AJ, for those of you who missed it, he couldn't even walk, right? And 10 days later, he's playing basketball again, right? And I know what you're talking about. Because like I said, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I see it with my mom. I see it with my dad. I've seen it with my patients. So this is a life-changing. The nutritional supplementation program, aside from the distributorship, is a life-changing opportunity for people to employ who have no idea what's available to them, no idea the power and the potential of nutritional supplementation, even if they've heard about it. And that's who we're talking to. And another thing one of the reasons I wanted to get on today, even though it's not Monday, and I was traveling yesterday, but I still want to get on board, is because in our school, pharmacistbensacademy.com, I noticed we just got somebody who just signed up, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy just signed up. Got Kathy's last name. In Pharmacist Ben's Academy, a couple folks asked questions, and they were really good questions. And I'm going to write. I think we should have like maybe a white paper or some kind of expanded answer, and maybe you could take some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about here and transcribe it. We can put it into something that people can download. But I wanted to actually talk to Linda, who sent a heartfelt letter, and then also Yvonne. I want to talk to both of them. Hopefully they're on the call here, because I said, I don't know if I mentioned that we would be addressing their question, but I want to address the question directly, because there's this idea in the world of health, and I kind of make a joke about it. I call it overthinkitis, how we always overthink things, right? And it's really something that we have to kind of think. We have to examine. I don't want to say think about. We got to examine overthinkitis. You've heard of Yogi Berra, I'm sure, right? Obviously, you're from New York, right? So you know about Yogi Berra-isms, like if you see a fork in the road, take it, right? Or another one, no one eats there anymore. It's too crowded. And then and my favorite is Reggie Jackson and Yogi Berra were standing on the field in Yankee Stadium for they were honoring all the old Yankees, and all the old Yankees were on the field, and Reggie's next to Yogi Berra, and they're honoring all the old Yankees, and they honored the ones who passed away, Joe DiMaggio, Babe Ruth, and Lou Gehrig, and they had them on the scoreboard, and they have all the ones who died, and Yogi Berra turns to Reggie Jackson and says, "I hope I never see my name up on that scoreboard." That's my favorite one. But one that I wanted to bring up was, he says 90% of this game is half mental. Right? I love that, because 90% of this game is half mental. It's a mental game. You got to believe. And so I think we're still bamboozled by this programming of the medical model, and we still think the doctor is going to help us if we have dementia or if our loved one has dementia. I'm sorry to tell you this, and I'm not knocking the medical model. They're not going to be able to help you if you have dementia. They're not going to be able to help you if you have any chronic long-term problem, except for perhaps symptomatically, but of course, then there's a price to be paid for that. So we have to understand mentally that lifestyle health challenges, which is the vast majority of our health challenges, and I'll talk about Yvonne and Linda here in a moment, are things that we can address ourselves. Nutritional supplementation is huge, diet's huge, but there's other things too. You know, exercise, breathing, meditation, the parasympathetic nervous system. And I'm going to talk about these. I'm going to answer some questions. But for those of you who like hearing this kind of stuff and who really feel empowered by it, go to Pharmacist Ben's Academy. Check it out. Because these are the things we talk about. These are the things I write about when I post. And I try to post every day or nearly every day. And then we have the modules. And then, of course, we have the Zoom calls. So if this is the kind of stuff that you want to learn about, go to Pharmacist Ben's Academy. Sign up. It's $10 a month. It's nominal. And there's a lot of great information. Plus, it's a community. It's a community of like-minded people. So with that being said, can I answer Linda and Yvonne's question? I hope
if
they're
you'd
on.
like to, because I do have some of my own. So.
Okay. So yeah, let me get to Linda. I don't even know if they're on though. But
Linda may be on because I see a Linda in the chat.
Okay, I hope that's Linda. Linda says, I'm dealing with a couple issues. Husband, age 80, diagnosed with vascular dementia. Current issues are memory, frequent headaches, lack of focus, balance. I have a central benign tumor affecting my head and neck. It's most noticeable when I try to lay my head back to relax. We've been in longevity 12 years and off all bad foods. We take a ton of stuff. That's not sure it's the right combination. This is a great question, right? Because she's taken stuff, but she doesn't know what to do. And she says that she's off all the bad foods. Look, that bad foods list has done more to get people to that bad foods list has done more to confuse people and to mislead people than almost anything.
It's a starting point.
It's misleading. It's a starting point. Obviously, you don't want potato chips and donuts. That's obvious. But it's misleading because it makes people think that if I just don't eat potato chips and donuts, I'm good. No. That's what do we say, AJ, that you always have to do to get past that? A food diary. A food diary. And I agree. I understand your point, AJ. It's a starting point. It's for people who really, they don't know that potato chips and believe it or not, there are people who don't know that potato chips and donuts are problematic. So it's a starting point. But you got to get past that because lettuce can be a problem. Carrots can be a problem. Turnips can be a problem. Potatoes can be a problem. These are all good foods. You know, you can't go by the lists. You have to go by you. That's first of all. And so you say, how do I do it? You look at your digestive system. Your digestive system will always talk to you. Now, it's a little bit trickier in the sense that sometimes things go under the radar. You don't notice them, especially if they've been going on for a long time, right? If you've been having, cramping, bloating, constipation, loose stools every time you eat corn, for your whole life, you're not going to notice it when you're 50 or 60 or 70 because you've been doing it. It's been happening for so long. So you got to be vigilant. You got to pay attention, and it helps to stop eating for a day or two. Okay, but you have to believe that that's true. What I just said, you have to believe that that's true. That's deductive reasoning. You start off with a premise, an idea. We call it, in philosophy, it's called first principles. Have you ever heard that concept, first principles? First principle. Okay, for me, first principles is a philosophical idea that you have this basic fundamental idea, and then you draw from it. That's deductive reasoning. As opposed to what the medical model does is it creates a bunch of statistics and facts and then induces a theory. That's called inductive reasoning. What we're doing is deductive reasoning. We're starting with a premise, which is that all diseases about the gut and leaky gut and dirty blood, all of it, chronic disease. Now, there's infections too, and I'm not talking about those, although a case can be made that we're predisposed to infections by dirty blood, but forget that. Chronic degenerative disease as a premise, first principle, axiom, is initiated first and foremost by dirty blood, which is not to punish anybody, to be mean to anybody, to be rude to anybody, to offend anybody. It's to take your power back. It's because you go to the doctor, you're just going to get a drug. That's not going to address your problem. So first and foremost, dirty blood. Now, I did post an article, and I think we talked about it, about the relationship between the microbiome and dementia, right? Did we talk about it? I posted research on that.
You did.
You know, I mean, you don't have to believe me. It's just, I don't like proving things by articles and by studies and by research. I want it just to make logic. I want it to be common sense. The blood becomes contaminated, inflammatory factors get into the blood, and you're off to into the body, and you're off to the disease races. And it's as simple as that. So to get to this question, let me find it now. I lost it here. Shucks, where's Linda's question here? I don't even see it anymore. Oh, shucks. Okay. Linda Allen, where the heck did... So Linda's husband, dementia. Okay, I'm going by memory because I can't find her question here. Oh, shucks. You see it here, AJ? Linda says her husband has vascular dementia. First of all, vascular dementia is just a silly doctor term. It doesn't matter whether it's Lewy body dementia or vascular dementia or Parkinson's dementia or Alzheimer's dementia. It's an inflammatory issue. All disease is dirty blood, but really the manifestation is the end result of inflammation. That's the whole thing. That's the whole game. Inflammation. Inflammation, inflammation, inflammation. Inflammation is a protective response against the dirty blood. So it's inflammatory. Likewise, Linda, your benign tremors, essential benign tremors, right? Essential, what does that mean? No known cause. They just happened. Nothing just happens. It's inflammatory. Now, Linda doesn't say how old she is, but you know, if her husband's 80, then she's probably 70 at least, something like that, right? So you've had 70 years to have this happen. So this is all by way of explaining. So what do? First and foremost, you stop the stream of toxicity that's getting into the blood. And how do you do that? By food, yes. Now, you can fast at first, and that will make a difference. Obviously, you have to eat eventually. So you fast at first. And that immediately your symptoms will start to subside. Try it for your husband. I'm fast for a day or two. First of all, fasting stops the stream of toxicity, but also fasting activates building chemistry, repair chemistry, cleaning chemistry, autophagy. Fasting is just a general panacea within parameters. You know, if you're in serious duress, you got to be careful. But for most people, fasting will activate repair mechanisms, cleaning mechanisms, and it will stop the stream of toxicity. It's really that simple. Then there's the nutrition, or the supplements, I'm sorry, the nutritional supplements. For the brain, the B vitamins are not an option. And because they're water soluble, this is your source of B vitamins. And because they're water soluble, you do it throughout the day. When I
what gave, is that that's in your hand?
Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You can't, I'm sorry. Beyond Tangy. It's hard to see it, I know. BTT.
Know what it is, but we want to make sure that
Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I keep it right by my desk, and I do it every day.
And do you think that that's like bottom of the shelf?
What does that mean? Like foundational?
No. Is it like cheap stuff, or is it high quality stuff?
Are you joking? There's nothing like it. I know you're trying to get me to say something. You don't believe it's cheap stuff. It's the best of the best. You could build a whole company on just Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You know, Youngevity's got 2,000 products, but you don't need 2,000 products. I mean, they may even have more. Beyond Tangy Tangerine is it's the king of nutritional supplements. There's a reason why there's no knockoffs of Beyond. There's no generic Beyond Tangy Tangerine. There's a reason for that, because it's not duplicatable. There's absolutely no reason not to take BTT. Now, the downside you'll hear sometimes people say is two downsides. You'll hear some people say they don't like the taste. If you don't like the taste, it's because you put too much or too little. There's a place where you will like the taste. You got to find that spot, and then you got to stay there and then drink it. And then secondly, don't drink it all at once. Your body can only handle so much. You're going to, first of all, you're going to urinate out a lot of it. And second of all, you're going to pull in water into your colon, because it's very hygroscopic. It attracts water very, very water attractive, and it'll cause cramping and bloating and sometimes diarrhea. And people don't like that, obviously, and that's the knock on it. So do less, find a sweet spot. Find a spot where you like it. I don't want to say sweet spot. Find a like. Do not like the taste because of beets. It doesn't smell. I don't know. Do you think it smells like beets? Somebody says she doesn't like. I think that's Keely.
Keely likes BTT.
She says she smells like beets.
She's talking. She didn't like the taste because of the beets.
What? I didn't know it smelled like. I never smelled beets. Did you? Did you ever smell beets?
What about original? What about you don't like any of the Keely? I mean, come on, give me a break. She sells more BTT than anybody else. I can't believe she would say.
I know, but I didn't know it tastes like beets. I've never tasted beets, and by the way, beets taste like sugar. They're sweet. I don't know. I get on when I go on Coast to Coast. George Norrie's always ripping on beets. Some people don't like beets. I don't know why. I don't know how anybody can not like beets. They're super delicious. Not to mention they're purple. Who doesn't like purple?
The 3.0 does taste like beets. The Rise
does it? Does it?
Oh, the Restore actually tastes more like beets to me.
All right.
I drink both. I don't have a problem with either. Just real quick, since you mentioned purple,
I want to get back to Linda. I don't want to digress because I want her to get an answer to her question. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, go ahead. I can remember. Go ahead, please.
I can't find her. I can't find her letter.
I can read her question to you.
Yeah, read her question to me because I can't find it now.
Ben, my husband's been diagnosed with vascular dementia.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there about vascular dementia. Okay, it's just dementia. It's just cognitive decline secondary to deterioration of the brain. Inflammation leading to deterioration of the brain. It doesn't matter that it's vascular. That just means blood vessels. Obviously, blood vessels are going to be involved. No matter what kind of dementia you have, it's going to be vascular. Okay? The brain depends on blood supply, and there's obviously, vessels, blood vessels, tiny, and they're susceptible to damage. As we age, that's one of the cardinal features of the aging process is damage to the blood vessels. And that's all inflammatory, and it's all dirty blood. And then I think, as I recall, Linda has the symptoms, right? After that.
Most noticeably are memory loss, inability to focus, follow a storyline, frequent headaches, and poor balance. He sometimes has slurred speech.
He's not getting oxygen and nourishment to his brain. And there's probably toxicity. It's the triangle of disease. Don't overthink. It's easy to think oh my God, it's vascular dementia and it has all of these symptoms. No, it's MBFA of the brain. And by the way, you're noticing it in the brain, but I guarantee you he's got joint problems. He's got kidney problems. He's got digestive problems. He's got cardiovascular problems. I wish Linda was on the call. We can't really ask her. But he's probably got other things too, right? Obviously, the cognition is going to be the thing you notice the most. And likewise with the tremors. Tremors are neurological inflammation. They may be central, they may be the brain, but they're likely peripheral, or it's neurological. It's neurological inflammation. Both Linda and her husband are suffering from the same problem. It's just affecting different parts of the body. You know what I'm saying, AJ? Same problem, different parts of the body is kind of like a summation of everything we're talking about. Same problem, different parts of the body. They want us, and I say, they're not doing it intentionally, but they're saying like, hey, look over here, look over here, look over here, when the problem's over here. They're saying, oh no, it's vascular. Oh, it's your joints, it's your kidneys, it's this, it's that. They're trying to tell you it's different problems. They're trying to tell you the problems in special areas of the body so you can go to a specialist. That's the way medicine works. They tell you, oh, it's a special part of the body. It's a special diagnosis. It's a special disease. It's a special organ. No, it's not special. You're not special. It's generic. It's deterioration. And I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose, but the net effect is, look over here, when the problem's over here. It's like smoke and mirrors. It's like a pickpocket. It's like a magician's trick. That's how magicians work. Hey, look over here. And they're doing something over here. It's not fair. And don't buy into it. Linda, you're too smart. Don't buy into it. I know you're smart because you're on the call and you're in Pharmacist Ben's Academy. Don't buy it. Nobody. It's not a vascular dementia problem. It's MBFA. And by the way, while I'm on the topic, I wrote this and it didn't show up on the post. Macular degeneration, the AI transcript thing, sometimes it doesn't get exactly what I said, the quote or the how I said it. And it made it sound like Ben said there's no difference between wet and dry. There's difference between wet and dry macular degeneration. Wet is a progression of dry macular degeneration. But from a healing perspective, you don't do something different for wet than you do for dry. It's inflammatory. That's the point that I was trying to make. The distinction is silly. I said it's a silly distinction. And the way AI wrote it, it means like it doesn't matter that they're the same thing. They're not the same thing. But from a therapeutic perspective, you treat them both the same way.
Okay.
You treat everything the same way. You don't treat macular degeneration different than you do vascular dementia. They're the same problem. They're inflammatory. Their blood toxicity, their leaky gut, their glycation, their hypoxia, their elevated cortisol, their hyperinsulinemia. It's the same thing. And I know I'm, repeating myself over and over again, but that's really, really important because if we don't understand that, we're going to fall for the trick. And it's not intentional. I shouldn't say the trick. We're gonna fall for the mistake that the medical model makes. And almost everybody does it. Almost everybody we trust does it. We're the oddballs here. Ben, if some medical doctor heard me saying this, he'd probably think I was crazy. But logic tells you this. Now, let's get to Yvonne, because I want to address Yvonne's also. Is Yvonne on the call by any chance?
Yvonne may not be on the call at the moment. She was on last night, though.
Okay, so maybe she'll get on here. Here's Yvonne. Yvonne is a microcurrent pain specialist, which is awesome.
Our good friend, Yvonne.
Yes, that's awesome. But she had a question, and I don't know how to find the individual people here.
So at the top, I'm searching. Let's see, Yvonne. Okay.
Did she have a question? I thought
when she says, "I appreciate how Ben educates us," or not that one.
I thought Yvonne had a question. Maybe I'm wrong.
Sorry to hear. My mom also has it. Well, I don't see a particular.
I don't see. Maybe I might be mistaken.
Okay.
All right. Well, go ahead. Why don't you ask me your questions?
Pharmacist Ben, I need to ask you, what is this?
What is this? Okay, what is that? That is a autoimmune skin condition called psoriasis. The heartbreak of psoriasis.
Ew, what is this?
And it's psoriasis. It looks like psoriasis. It looks like the plaques of psoriasis. I can't be 100% sure, but that's what it looks like to me. It pretty much 100% sure. So is this a viewer or is this a customer?
This is one of Coach Rod's clients.
Okay. Is Coach Rod on the call?
Coach Rod is not on the call, but Coach Rod will be paying attention.
Okay. So here's the deal. Let me see, where are you, AJ? Let me find you here. Okay. So here's the deal. You can get that picture off the.
You don't like looking at it?
No, I don't want to look at that. Do you?
You sure?
Yeah. No, I'd rather look at you. So here's the thing. Skin cells, and this is kind of along the same lines of us like seeing the macro picture of the body, but not zooming in and seeing how everything's put together. Right? The symptoms are the macroscopic bird's eye view, but you got to zoom into the actual cellular structure to actually see what's happening. So the skin, even though it just looks like, I don't even know what people think it looks like, it just looks like something sitting there, maybe a covering, is really made up of layers, multiple layers, probably 20 or 30 or 40 layers. I don't even know. Lots of layers. And the skin cells on the top layer rise from the bottom to the top and they form a surface. You can't tell, but there's a thin layer of fingernail-like material on the surface of your skin. That's your barrier, right? And how that, you can't tell. It's microscopically thin, right? You need a microscope. If you had a microscope, you could see it.
I can see it.
No, you cannot see it.
Okay, all right.
All right. So that barrier is formed by the movement of cells like this. Boom, 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 boom. Top, flop off. Boom, 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 boom. Top, flop off. Boom, 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 boom. Top, flop off. Happens endlessly. Right now it's happening as you're sitting here. There's cells flopping off in the air. Right? The air is filled with cells that are flopping off everybody's skin. The average dust bunny under your bed is 70% skin cells. They're everywhere, right? And we don't see it. We don't feel it. We don't know it. As we age, by the way, it slows down. And one of the ways you can reverse the aging process in the skin is speed it up. That's another story. Psoriasis is an autoimmune disease. An autoimmune disease is a disease where we'll say, just for conventional, to keep it conventional and orthodox and standard, where the body attacks itself. That's what they say. The body attacks itself. No known reason. It just happens. That's the standard medical dogma. No known reason. It just attacks itself. In the case of psoriasis, back up. In the case of multiple sclerosis, the immune system attacks the myelin sheath, the nerve sheath, the insulation. So you get nerve problems. In the case of myasthenia gravis, remember we talked about that a couple weeks ago, myasthenia gravis, it attacks the muscles. Myasthenia gravis, multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, hypothyroidism, Graves' disease, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, Crohn's disease. There's a ton of these things. There's 100 of them, 100 plus, 120 of them. And they keep finding more and more. And there's a lot of people who think all immune diseases are autoimmune diseases. In any case, it's about 120 official ones. And they're all attacking different parts of the body. Remember, it doesn't matter where the problem is. That's the old way of looking at things. That's the conventional way of looking at things. That's the failed way of looking at things. That's the specialist way of looking at things. We don't care where it's happening. We care that it's happening. So type 1 diabetes, it happens in the pancreas. It doesn't matter. It's happening. Multiple sclerosis happens in the nerves. It doesn't matter. It's happening. Myasthenia gravis, it's happening in the muscles. It doesn't matter. It's happening. Crohn's disease, celiac disease, it's happening in the intestine. It doesn't matter. It's happening. Graves' disease, thyroid, it doesn't matter. It's happening. Vitiligo, the pigment cells, it doesn't matter. It's happening. Psoriasis is when the immune system attacks the skin cells as they're rising from the bottom to the top. Remember that it's rising from the bottom to the top is what creates the barrier. If the immune system attacks the skin cells as they're rising from the bottom to the top, you're not going to get a completely formed barrier. You're going to get a barrier that's got a bunch of dead cells piling on top of it. In other words, the transit process, this movement process is going to be disrupted because the immune system is attacking the skin cells as they're doing their work. The end result is what that leg looks like, what that picture looks like. That picture is the end result of an immune system that is attacking the skin cells as they're rising from the bottom to the top. The problem with psoriasis is while it's unattractive and it's problematic and it can be uncomfortable, it's a sign that other things are going wrong. And people who have psoriasis oftentimes have psoriatic arthritis. They're higher risk of cancer. They have higher risk of heart disease. They have shorter longevity. It's an overall systemic problem. You go to the doctor and they'll give you vitamin D cream maybe, or a steroid cream, or a fancy biologic, and they'll take care of the symptom, but you still have the immune problem. Yeah, you might take care of the symptom, might, not always, but might, but you still have the immune problem. So then we got to go back to what is the problem? The problem is not the skin. The problem is the immune system. The immune system lives where? Mostly.
In the gut.
In the gut. In the gut. Psoriasis is a gut problem. I guarantee you, 100%. Rod, ask your patient, does she have digestive problems? Of course she does. Just by first principles, just by the deductive reasoning we just talked about. She has a gut problem, so you work on the gut. Now, there are nutritional supplements you could take too. What do we love for the gut, for the immune system, for the microbiome? I-26.
I-26.
Get her on the I-26. Get her on the nightly essence. Get her on the ultimate enzymes. You might want to throw in the True to Life liver cleanse. Don't sleep on the FucoidZ for digestive problems. They don't talk about it for that. It's very helpful for the gut, for the lining, for leaky gut, and for the microbiome. It acts as a prebiotic to help support the microbiome. And FucoidZ is great for the blood, great for the immune system. I'd be on the FucoidZ for that patient immediately, in addition to all the digestive support. And then, of course, you've got your anti-inflammatories. Omegas are the EFAs, exactly. Nature's aspirin. There's also a well-known relationship between vitamin D and psoriasis healing. Even dermatologists will put psoriasis patients under a sun lamp for vitamin D. Get out in the sun. You can use vitamin D supplements, but the sun's the best way to get your vitamin D.
Do you think the heat has anything to do with that also?
No, it's vitamin D.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe the heat has something to maybe, but
Just
no.
wondering.
Vitamin D orally will make a difference.
Mhm.
And vitamin D topically, there's a product called Dovanex, which is prescription vitamin D that they'll use. So consider it a vitamin D. And when you have a vitamin D issue, oftentimes you're not absorbing your fats, which means, and there's also vitamin A can be helpful, but both vitamin A and D can be helpful. Vitamin A is very important for those skin cells as they're rising from the bottom to the top. In fact, not only will they use vitamin D cream, they'll also use vitamin A cream, retinoid creams for psoriasis.
What about A and D ointment?
A and D ointment as well. That's not the good stuff, but it won't hurt. Mm-hmm. But you want to look at it whenever you have a digestive problem. It's a short jump to fat malabsorption because fats are they're the most difficult foods they're the most difficult food components for the intestine to absorb, and that involves the lymph. The lymph not only takes in fats, it also is your highway for the immune system. So there could be lymphatic issues too. So lymphatic drainage, lymphatic massage, hanging upside down, dry brushing, slow, deep rhythmic breathing can move the lymph. Anything you do to move the lymph, exercise, walking can move the lymph. Inversion devices, I think I said, hanging upside down, hot and cold water, turning the water on, hot and cold, that can activate the lymph. Yeah.
Are there any particular enzymes that can help with fat absorption?
Yeah, lipases. LIPASE, lipases. And they're in the ultimate enzymes. Mm-hmm. And bile salts. They're not enzymes, but bile salts. They're in the ultimate enzymes too. Mm-hmm. By the way, what is bile made out of?
Cholesterol.
Bingo. Yet another important role for cholesterol in the body. And there's often metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is also related to autoimmune diseases. So there's your second point on the triangle. Go back to the triangle. Triangle of disease. Return to the triangle.
The return of the triangle. We're glad you're back, Pharmacist Ben. I got a couple of pressing questions. We have a guest who's got a question.
Yes. Who's our guest?
Our guest is trying to jump the gun. Get off the screen, guest. And first, before I get to our guest,
yeah.
Why, Dylan? Why does drinking apple cider vinegar with my enzymes 10 to 15 minutes before meals help my digestion so much more than the enzymes alone? My energy levels are much higher with the apple cider vinegar.
Because the enzymes require acid for their activation. If you're not making stomach acid or enough stomach acid, you may not get the maximum benefit from the enzymes, which means you're not getting the maximum benefit from your food. Apple cider vinegar is an all-around helpful supplement for a lot of reasons. It's got electrolytes, it's got B vitamins, but really it's a good way to acidify the contents of your stomach, to activate the enzymes, to improve digestion. Now, there is something in the digestive enzymes called betaine, HCl, which gives you a little bit of acidification, but apple cider vinegar is very, very smart, Dylan. That's a very, very wise idea. Nice strategy. I love our smart listeners or viewers. Yes. Proceed. AJ? You there? Oh, I think AJ froze. You there?
AJ did freeze, but AJ's back.
Okay.
All right. So thanks for that. Let Jill get on. While Jill, you ready? I don't see you. Jill, unmute yourself.
Hi, Jill.
I am. Can you hear me?
I hear ya. What's up,
Hello?
Jill?
Okay.
Hi, Jill.
Are you supposed to see me?
I
Are
see
you?
you. We see
Oh,
you.
okay,
You look
good.
very nice. You look very, very pretty
Okay.
today. Hi, Jill.
Oh, thank you.
Where
Thank
do you
you.
live,
Hi.
Jill? Where are you? Are you in Texas?
No, I live in Hershey, Pennsylvania, but I am in Florida in St. Augustine at the
Okay.
moment. I'm visiting my
Oh,
son. He's
nice.
in college. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I have someone I'm working with. She's an old friend from school. And she's got like so much going on that I'm not even sure how to tell you what she has, but I'm looking for some advice
Okay.
because of the nature of it. So let me start
Just
with.
give bullet points. Just bullet points, Jill.
I know, I know. First of all, she smoked since her teens. She still does, but
Well,
she's,
hello.
yeah,
Okay,
she's
go ahead.
considering giving it up.
Oh,
But
she's
I don't want to
considering.
tell you that.
Okay. All
No,
right.
well, when you hear it, you'll understand why.
How old is she, by the way? How old?
63,
So she's been smoking
63,
for 53
64.
years. She's smoking for 53 years.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
She has stage 4 chronic kidney disease, renal artery stenosis, a left kidney currently showing no detectable function, difficult
Just
to
bullet points.
control high blood pressure.
Kidneys, blood
What?
pressure. Just bullet points. Kidneys, blood pressure.
Okay. Difficult to control high blood pressure. She's on 4 meds. Heart failure, cardiovascular disease, stage 2 chronic
Okay, so you
lymphocytic
can stop right there. You can stop right there. All right.
Yeah.
First of all, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is this,
What?
and there's good news and bad news. The bad news is, and I'm just being honest and frank, and I don't want to, it's not trying to be mean or snide or snotty in any way, shape, or form. But I just gotta be frank and honest. This is a woman who doesn't care about herself. Okay, she can give lip service to it.
Does now.
No, I know. She can say she does. Yeah. She can say she does. In the Bible, it says, "By their fruits you will know them." Right? Yeah. You can say anything you want to say. There's no way the body can deteriorate that much at the age of 63 in somebody who cares about themselves. So this is a woman who doesn't care. She can say it all she wants. She does by the fruits. And I'm not trying to be snide, but we got to just be frank. The good news is when you're this deteriorated, you can be helped. You can make a difference quickly. Put it that way. Because the sicker you are, the more deteriorated you are, the more the body will absorb and respond to changes. The more responsive the body is, because the body really wants to heal. Right. So you can make a huge difference just beyond Tangy Tangerine. Huge. So if she cares, and she says she does, it doesn't appear she does, but if she does, then get her on the BTT today. Tonight. Not a minute. Don't waste a minute. Not even a 30 seconds. Yeah. Get her on it right away. She'll notice a difference in one day. If she's serious about it, she'll notice a difference in one day. Now, as she continues to use the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, she's going to get better. But this is a woman who she'll plateau because she has ulterior motives. And we all have to recognize that our friends, our loved ones, our parents, our children, our neighbors, our customers, our clients, sometimes they have ulterior motives that they know. Sometimes they don't even know. Self-destruction is a real thing. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to go out and destroy. I'm intentionally going to destroy myself. It's like subconscious.
I understand.
Right?
I understand.
So just accept that.
I would like to come up with a plan to.
There's no plan.
To help her.
Don't waste there's no plan. Get her on BTT today. If you want to change her life, get her on BTT. To sit here and give you a plan is a waste of my breath, and you're listening. She's not going to do a plan. This is a woman who smokes cigarettes and she has heart disease. You think you're going to put her on a program? Come on. Get her on the BTT. Get her on that BTT tonight. You'll change her life. Then, then what might happen, praise God, let's hope, let's pray that it'll happen. She'll say, oh my God, I had no idea I could feel this good. What else do you have, Jill? What else can I do? Right? And that'll be the best case scenario. Look, 63 is young. She's halfway if she does this right. She's got another, if she does this right, I'm 66. Everybody's in their 60s. You should know. You got halfway. You got another half if you do it right. at least 40%. You know, we can all make it to 100, 120 is our genetics. We can make it to 100. You know, so if you're 66 or 63, she's got 40 years, 37 years if she does it right.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I'd like to help her get there.
BTT.
So I understand. I know you were going to say to keep it simple. I knew that, but
Keep it simple.
I guess,
yeah.
Is there any concern about, you know, potassium? Like,
Are you kidding me? This woman has to just reach up to touch the curb. You know what I'm saying? She's so far below baseline. Anything you put in there, are you worried about potassium? Get her some nutrition.
Okay.
She's functionally starving. Every drug you take, I wrote a post on this, by the way. I wrote a post on this a couple days ago. Do you know that drugs destroy the microbiome? They don't tell you this.
We do not have a good connection, so you're gonna have to repeat that.
I say drugs, medication, prescriptions will destroy the bacteria, the gut bacteria. And she's on 4 different drugs. And that alone, get her on the BTT.
She's on more than 4. She's on 4. She's on 4 hard meds. She's on a lot more than 4 drugs.
I mean, come on. Is this a good friend of yours? Somebody you love?
What's that?
Is this a good friend of yours? Somebody you really care about?
My husband does. Yeah.
Yeah. So then get her and ship her some BTT. Does she live near you in Hershey? Right. Get her some BTT.
Well, I'm not home. I will have to order it.
But, order it. Get her on BTT. If you love her, get her on BTT. If she, you know, and for everybody listening, that's like BTT's the best. For people who have this kind of massive degeneration and deterioration that's been going on for a long time, don't try to put them on a program. Get them on something that's going to change their life quickly. And if they don't want to do the BTT for whatever reason, it's the best. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want it. Get the minerals, the cherry mints, or some kind of mineral.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some kind of plant-derived mineral drink at the very least. Then you gradually get people in a program. This idea of like putting people on an entire program when they're this breaking down, it doesn't work. You know, we want to help her. Okay, good. Thanks.
So if we get her to the entire program, I do have a question about the kidney part. Like
the kidney part is secondary. It's remember the triangle. The triangle's the base. The kidney is after that, and the heart is after that. Kidney problems follow glycation. The kidneys. And I know we said it before. It's good. It's important to talk about. The kidneys are not really a thing. They're a bunch of blood vessels that are all wrapped around really tightly. And as the blood goes through the vessels are so tiny and microscopic that they act like a filter. Stuff gets out of there. So the kidneys are very susceptible to blood toxicity. In fact, aside from chronic degenerative disease, one of the leading causes of kidney problems is lead toxicity and heavy metal toxicity. Because of the same reason, it damages the tiny blood vessels. But for most people, the problem is going to be sugar and toxins from the digestive system. So the kidney disease is an epidemic. The kidneys are secondary to the triangle. Focus on the triangle. Okay.
Well, she's twice had, I don't know if I had the right wording, but she just had the one procedure last week where they put a stent in because it's all clogged up. And so that's why I thought the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets might be something that would be helpful.
Tablets are for convenience. I know some people like the tablets.
No. She's talking about the Ultimate Daily Classic with the nano. Well,
I thought Doc talked about them being helpful for the kidney filters.
She's starving though. But she's starving. This is a woman who's functionally starving, and that's something to consider when people are this broken down. You've got to consider that they're functionally starving. They're not getting nutrition, and that's the most important thing. The good news is as soon as you put nutrition in there, boom, the body will just suck that up like a dry sponge sucks up water. And that's the good news. That's why I say get her the BTT. And I wouldn't even wait. I mean, depending on how well you know her, I wouldn't even wait a day. I would send it out to her right away. I'd FedEx it to her. Change her life today, tonight, tomorrow.
Jill.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
Jill.
Thank you, Jill.
Jill. Do you hear me, Jill? Jill don't hear me. All right, Jill. Good to see you.
What were you gonna say?
Jill knows this stuff, Ben. Am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen. I see. Oh, maybe you are frozen. Yeah, you're frozen.
No, I said I'm done.
Good thing you're such a handsome guy, because just see your face on there. AJ? AJ's gone. AJ. Help me. Becca, help me. AJ's totally gone now. Well, maybe I'll just talk here. So let's see. If you haven't done Pharmacist Ben's Academy, why not? What's stopping you? Get on Pharmacist Ben's Academy. We talk about all the stuff. We're going to do a Zoom call. I missed yesterday or last Sunday. I missed the Zoom call. Hi, Ruth Ellen.
Hi.
I missed the Zoom call last Sunday. I was with my mom, but we're going to start again on Sunday, and we're going to do our Zoom call is going to be a continuation of the skin. We talked about nutrition hacks for the skin last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, and it was protein, chapter 1 or volume 1, whatever you want to call it. We did protein in the skin. We're going to do fats in the skin is going to be our next chapter. You're frozen again, AJ. For such a technical wizard, what's up, bro? Or maybe I'm frozen.
No, you're not. You're not frozen. It's just he's every time. There he is. Oh,
Yeah,
I see
AJ,
movement. I see
AJ,
movement.
I see movement. He's alive. So we're going to do on Sunday. We're going to do skin and fats, essential fats and fatty vitamins and phytonutrients. There's various fats and nutrition hacks. And then we do these Zoom calls, the Zoom calls that we do every Sunday. They've got a PowerPoint associated with them, a presentation associated with them. So they're not just me rambling on. They're me rambling with a PowerPoint instead of just rambling without a PowerPoint. So hopefully we'll see you there on Sunday.
Pharmacist Ben, don't think you're ending.
Yes.
I have two listener questions, but first, Beagle Mom is asking, what is BTT? Is there a link to your page?
Yes.
Beagle Mom, go to rootnotfruit.com and get yourself you'll see is foundational. It's called the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0. If that's out of your budget, call this number, 855-949-3377. Someone will help you get something. Tell them AJ said to get the basic Mighty 90. If you can't do the Healthy Body Start Pack, next best is basic Mighty 90, and the next best would be, as Ben said, the plant derived minerals. Or you can call that number and just get a Tangy Tangerine on its own. There are many options, and that is the flexibility of having 2,000 products, Pharmacist Ben. We have some options here.
There is. That's right. That's right. There's flexibility. That is a good point, actually.
You are traveling Wilbury. I got 2 more quick questions for you before my screen dissolves. So this is our buddy from Florida that we visited. Do you see the legs?
Yes, nice legs. Those are healthy looking legs. I like the quads.
Well, not so.
Close
not
up.
so much.
No.
So this one on the left is swollen. Do you see that?
Yeah, I do see it swelling. I do see it swelling.
So he says during the day, it's fine. And when he wakes up in the morning, it's fine. But as he starts working out and walking around, then it becomes that problem. So I suggested to him he needed more electricity going to the heart. And what do you think about the fact
it could be a few things. First of all, if he ends up with pain in his calf or his thigh, he definitely wants to go to an ER, especially if it suddenly appears. Also, if it's hot, it could be like a thrombosis, a DVT, and those can be really serious. I don't know that necessarily if it comes and goes like that. I don't know if that would be what it is, but he wants to be aware of that. It could also have to do with weakened veins. When the valves, and that's a connective tissue problem, when the valves weaken, the blood will pool. It could also be lymphedema. It could be a lymphatic issue. Or it looks like he's an athlete or he's working out. It could have to do with a kind of an injury, a muscle injury. He would feel that, or possibly medications. But the most important thing is if he gets something happens suddenly.
He used to swell a lot. Got on our program and
got better.
is tremendously better, but
Yeah,
is still concerned about.
I would say he's having a circulatory issue or a venous issue. If he's getting better,
has
so
gotten,
yeah, if he's getting better, a couple strategies is the dirty blood issue. Listen, and this is a classic example. When you have a symptom, you can't treat just the symptom. You've got to work backwards. Go back the way you came. Work backwards. What he's experiencing is swelling of the legs. Swelling has to do with circulation. Circulation is a blood issue. Blood issues involve blood toxicity, dirty blood. Now, it could also have to, like I say, it could have to do with the veins themselves, the valves themselves, but that too is inflammatory. So backtrack. What I would ask this guy is, what else does he have? Remember, if you're going by first principles and you say everything's on top of the triangle, right? You follow me, AJ? And everything's on top of the triangle, that means by definition there's something underneath, right?
Well, he certainly had some blood sugar issues.
Well, there you go. That's dirty blood. That's glycation. That's thick blood. That's going to damage the vessels. How do you know he told you he had blood sugar issues?
Yeah, this is Senator Siplin, who we visited in Florida.
Well, there you go. And plus, Senator Siplin is, he's getting up there. He's pushing 70, right? He's got to be in his late 60s.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
What is it? Am I wrong?
No, I'm just going to tell him you said it anyway.
You remember I said he reminded me of Grady, and you had to open your big mouth.
He's a smooth Grady. Grady ain't pulling him like Senator Siplin. So, okay. Well, we will talk to Senator Siplin again.
Yes,
we do have a couple questions here. Real quick. Beagle Mom, basic mighty 90 fixed income. You call that number 855-949-3377, and we will fix you, or give you the strategy to fix yourself. Rather, I should say, because we don't fix anything. Your body fixes, and we just got to support it and allow it to do so. Our friend Joshua in New York has a question. What is the protocol for allergies, acid reflux, and congestion? My 22-year-old went to the ENT, and this was her diagnosis. Allergies, acid reflux, and congestion.
You tell me.
I'd say it's a digestive issue.
Of course it's a digestive issue. It's by definition a digestive issue. Allergies, congestion, something is triggering the immune system. Mm-hmm. The immune system lives in the gut. If she's got acid reflux, obviously there's going to be some kind of intestinal problem. When you have acid reflux, what is acid reflux? That's upward pressure against the valve. There's a sphincter, not a valve, a sphincter muscle that opens and closes between the esophagus and the stomach, like this, right? When first of all, the sphincter gets loose and weak with age. Now, this person's not old; it's a kid, so it's probably not loose and weak because of age, but it's probably upward pressure from the gut. So this person has a digestive problem. Immune system and digestive system go hand in hand. Always regard congestion. Always regard mucus and congestion as digestive issues. Mucus and congestion. Now, you say, well, there may be pollen, right? Even pollen and even allergies to something external are the end result of an overloaded immune system from the gut, right? So always backtrack to the gut. This is a person that I would do a food diary with, and then I put them on the digestive support. We have, is there a digestive kit on the root.fruit site? Because there's one on the mineral waste side. Okay, so go to get all the digestive stuff. I-26, track it to foods. Notice the food difference. Now we talked about I think we talked about histamine on a Zoom call. Did we talk about? I'm pretty sure we talked about histamine.
Of course we did. Daily with Doc, we do. We've
no. But did I do a PowerPoint on it? I'm trying to think. I think I did.
On Sunday, on one of the Sundays, you did.
One of the Sundays I did, didn't I? On histamine.
You did.
Histamine, and it bears repeating, especially if we have new listeners. Histamine is made in the gut, among other places. It's made in mast cells, which are a certain kind of cell that lives in the intestine. They're guardian cells. They're bouncers. They notice things. and they'll release histamine when there's digestive problems. And that histamine will cause all kinds of problems, from itching and rashes to mucus and congestion to migraine headaches to hot flashes, redness. Women will get vascular issues in their skin post-menopause or perimenopause from histamine. Histamine will massively amplify estrogen problems, endometriosis, and fibromyalgia. Histamine is a major player in these kinds of reactions, and it comes from, largely anyway, it comes from the intestine. Go backwards to the intestine for this person.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Should this person stop drinking Diet Coke?
No, you want to take extra Diet Coke.
Extra Diet Coke. Okay.
Extra Diet Coke, yes. In fact, I would eliminate all water and just drink Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
What the heck? What
Diet
the
Coke.
heck?
Because these are kids, and they think that this stuff, the fizz is good, and they should be drinking this stuff. And it's
I was being sarcastic. Nobody should, make a soundbite out of that. I was being cynical. I was being sarcastic.
We're gonna clip that. Okay, and then I gotta go. Pharmacist Ben. What's good for shingles?
Right. Shingles is an immune problem. There's no good for shingles.
Right.
There's nothing that's good for shingles. Shingles is an immune problem. The shingles virus is an opportunistic virus. It waits for us to be weak. Little kids don't get shingles. Teenagers don't get shingles. Young adults don't get shingles. Shingles happens to who? People who are on chemotherapy, people who are sick, people who are older, people who have had the jab, people who are immune compromised. The shingles virus attacks people who are weak. And so what do? You get strong. So you look for the weaknesses and you patch them up. So there's no one thing for shingles, although there are certain nutrients that are antiviral, like selenium has some antiviral properties. So that you can, vitamin C has some antiviral properties. So you can use those, but you got to take care of the reason that the opportunity for the shingles virus has arisen. Remember, it's opportunistic. So there's an opportunity. You've got to patch up the opportunity. And so I would be doing the Healthy Start Pack, and I would be addressing digestive problems. Back to the triangle. Look, it always goes back to the triangle of disease. Any help for menopause? Night sweats, that's a histamine issue, as well as an estrogen issue. Get on progesterone. I'm going to soon have my progesterone I actually have some of it available for anybody who's interested in topical progesterone. Send me a note. Send me a note to Pharmacist Ben's Academy, or where else can they send a note?
They can email.
You know what? Let's talk about post-menopause. We did kind of do that already at school. But it's really menopause issues menopause does not have to be a nightmare for people. But if you're having these kinds of problems, night sweats, emotional roller coaster, irritability, low libido, don't blame the menopause. Who is this person? Why do you know this person? Is this a new person?
I've seen the name. I just forget who exactly that person is.
YT2011LR. Okay, that's a very interesting moniker there. The problem is not the menopause. The problem is the triangle beneath the menopause, and it starts with the digestive system. So I would love to be on hormones. What does that mean? Be on hormones, like hormone replacement? I guess
she thinks that this would improve her life. Some progesterone cream would improve
the progesterone. Life. The progesterone. Is that what you're talking? I think is that what she's talking about? The progesterone.
I think that's what the second person.
So YT, 52 years old. If you're having menopausal, post-menopause issues at 52, that tells me that you've had some hormone issues for a while, or whoever that is has had hormone issues for a while. 52 is somewhat young for this. So that tells me that's good news, because that tells me with a couple swift moves, you can really fix this problem. First thing I would do is work on the digestive system. Get on the all the digestive products, including the Ultimate Enzymes, the Nightly Essence, Dr. Aria, or True to Life. I call it Dr. Ariaz's because he developed it, but the True to Life Liver Cleanse, and then also the Nightly Essence. Do a food diary and eliminate problem foods. Use the antihistamine protocol. If you're on, if this person is on Pharmacist Ben's Academy, find the presentation we did on histamine. This is a classic histamine response. There are several strategies for dealing with histamine, including vitamin C, which acts like a natural antihistamine, melatonin, acts like a natural antihistamine. DAO, which you have to buy online, that's an antihistamine. When estrogen drops, it changes the way we break down histamine. Leaky gut will change histamines. This sounds like a histamine problem. Track it to foods, healthy start pack, all the digestive support.
And for low libido, and for low libido,
same idea. Estrogen is anti-libido. Progesterone is pro-libido. Estrogen shuts down sex drive. Metabolic syndrome. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just more thinking that, for women that had low libido, if they do is get their poster of Pharmacist Ben, and they should be all set.
Yeah, okay, talk to AJ. Talk to AJ. AJ is a natural libido enhancer.
Yeah. So I would love to be on hormones, but her doctor won't prescribe them because she's 72 and had a hysterectomy.
You got a smart doctor. You don't want to be throwing off your hormones already thrown off because you got a hysterectomy. First of all, they were thrown off because you had to have a hysterectomy, and now they're thrown off more because you had a hysterectomy. You got a smart doctor, and you're 72. You don't want hormones. And when you say hormones, you mean estrogen, I'm sure, and testosterone. Progesterone, now that's benign. Or you can get something called pregnenolone. Get that on Amazon or on the internet. Pregnenolone. Also, your ultimate EFAs will have hormone-like effects, estrogen-like effects. So for women who are leery about estrogen replacement therapy, make sure you're getting enough fats, your ultimate EFAs, and make sure you're absorbing your fats. It's not just what you take, it's what you absorb. So you got to make sure you're absorbing your fats as well. Go ahead. Yes.
One last thing about libido. Stan and Laura Dennison made.
Yeah, they have a good one.
Stay Balanced is supposed to be a testosterone balancer, I guess.
I love Stan's products, and Laura is one of the best assets that longevity has, in my humble opinion. Laura,
for sure, good spirit too.
Yeah, good. Really, they're both really beautiful people. Really beautiful people, and TMR Shake is the bomb. The absolute bomb.
Couldn't get a show in without mentioning.
I love that TMR Shake.
Pharmacist Ben, I know the folks yesterday did see that they should join us. I'm gonna play this thing to lead us out. Did you like the video yesterday that we played?
Love the video. Love your videos.
Okay, well we're gonna play ourselves out on this video. I have to thank you. We are off on Daily with Doc, but maybe we might be able to sneak in a surprise presentation this week with Pharmacist Ben. What do you think?
We might. Friday. I don't think I do have a show Friday.
I heard that you're not available Friday, but maybe we can sneak something in another day.
Maybe we can, and also don't forget Sunday. We got our Zoom call on Sunday.
Folks, if you are not a member of Pharmacist Ben's Academy, go join. You can find a friend who can give you a link, or go to pharmacistbensacademy.com and get yourself joined up. There's no reason not to be a part of this intimate community of like-minded people who I learned from. They're really, really smart people in our group. I learned from them, and you get an opportunity to talk with Ben, bring your questions in directly, and we got tools and more coming. Get in on the ground floor, because I don't know if I'm going to keep the price this low much longer. So,
and it's fun. It's a fun group of people. You have a good time. And we post, and we got great blog posts on there too.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you, Ruth Ellen, for everything that you do for us. And regardless of how unhappy you are with me tonight,
who's unhappy? Who's unhappy with you?
No. Ruth Ellen doesn't like our haphazard nature. She likes
things more
structured.
I didn't say anything.
No, Ruth Ellen's
about anything.
No, you're great, Ruth.
Say a thing, but I can read your mind. Keely, thank you for being here. Keely, look, I didn't do that. See,
no, thank you.
Ben did that. Ben did that.
What did I do?
Ben did that. I didn't do that.
Here's a mess because I've been helping Rebecca all day.
And Nancy Golden, thank you for joining us. Everybody, Keely, Bruce, Wyoming Annie, Beagle Mom, everybody.
By the way, before I forget, before you run off, Goddess Jill and I just finished our book. It should be out here in a couple months. I'm not supposed to talk about it. She told me not to tell anybody, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because the title is Your Health, It's Easier Than You Think.
Is that going to be hardcover?
I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but it's done. Your Health, It's Easier Than You Think. Don't tell her I said anything. She told me not to say anything.
And of course,
You're frozen. All right, everybody. Take care. AJ, you're frozen.
Look at the modern American life cycle. Most people spend their prime years trading hours for a capped salary in a corporate cubicle, only to spend their later years handing those earnings over to a medical complex to manage their declining health. You outsource your financial survival to an employer and your biological survival to an institution. Mainstream medical protocols prioritize symptom management. If you have high blood pressure, you receive a prescription to artificially lower it. This leaves the root cause, the cellular starvation and systemic toxicity creating that pressure, unaddressed, which maintains a state of perpetual dependency on a refill. Meanwhile, the traditional W-2 employment model traps you in a parallel cycle. You trade your time for a paycheck. When you stop working, the money stops flowing. There is no compounding leverage and no underlying asset being built for your family. You cannot claim true independence if a corporation dictates your economic output and a hospital dictates your biological function. Dr. Joel Wallach recognized this trap decades ago. After analyzing thousands of autopsies, he formulated a thesis. Chronic disease is the mathematical result of a systemic nutritional deficiency. If a body lacks the basic raw materials to rebuild itself, it breaks down. Wallach knew that traditional medical gatekeepers had zero financial incentive to promote foundational nutrition over symptom-managing pharmaceuticals. He also knew that placing his formulas on retail shelves next to thousands of inferior supplements would dilute the message. To bypass the hostile medical establishment, he needed a grassroots army. He realized the only way to effectively distribute clinical-grade nutrition was through educated individuals who could sit at a kitchen table, explain human biochemistry, and teach their communities how to actually heal. This geometric diagram represents the triangle of disease, dictating that chronic bodily breakdown originates from systemic failures in three primary areas. The first point is the digestive system. Consuming processed foods and bad fats tears microscopic holes in the intestinal lining. This leaky gut allows undigested food particles and bacterial toxins to pour directly into the bloodstream. The second point is the blood sugar system. Refined carbohydrates act as a caustic toxin, turning blood into a thick, sticky sludge that struggles to circulate. Cells suffocate, and the heart cranks up pressure to push this dirty blood through vessels. The third point is the adrenal thyroid complex, the body's master regulatory hub. Constant physical inflammation and psychological stress lock the body in an emergency state. Cortisol floods the system, shutting down digestion and energy production, accelerating the collapse of the other 2 points. To address this, distributors guide clients through a process of saturation. The Healthy Start Pack provides plant-derived minerals that act as natural chelating agents, pulling toxins out of the dirty blood. Simultaneously, essential fatty acids rebuild the SAT-based cell membranes to restore circulation, while collagen peptides provide the raw structural proteins needed to patch the intestinal wall. Teaching the biochemistry of this saturation process is the mandatory first step toward accessing the financial benefits of the business. Once the physical operation is understood, the financial architecture opens up. Entering the business scales from a basic, low-cost distributor registration all the way up to a mega CEO pack, which immediately qualifies you for stock options, revenue sharing, and car bonuses. To stay active and collect commission checks, distributors must be a product of the product. This means maintaining a qualifying monthly personal order of the nutrition they are actively consuming to stay healthy. This personal health requirement transforms your household into a legitimate business entity. This 30-day timeline graph illustrates strategic ordering mechanics. Because longevity operates on strict bonus windows, upline mentors teach you exactly when to process personal volume. Hitting the right inputs on the right days triggers distinct financial thresholds on the chart, multiplying your monthly commission payout. The architecture of this system takes the financial drain of biological maintenance and transforms it into a tax-advantaged economic engine. If you reach the top of the corporate ladder in a standard W-2 job, your influence, your title, and your income evaporate the day you retire or pass away. The company simply replaces you. A direct sales network, however, compounds over a lifetime. Because the monthly orders of your downline generate a continuous stream of residual income, your longevity business becomes a legally recognized, willable asset. The income you build by teaching your community how to heal can be transferred directly to your children and grandchildren. This is what true autonomy looks like. By mastering human biochemistry and leveraging the tax structures of a home-based business, you pull yourself out of the corporate dependency loop. You secure your own physical health, and you build a generational financial fortress that outlasts you.